Welcome to Storytimer at Large. Marjorie Taylor Jackson. 6490 Spring Mill Road is the address of a stylish mid-century modern home in Indianapolis. It's not far from the canals, shops, and restaurants of the fun Broad Ripple neighborhood. It's also the home of one of the strangest and saddest tales of elder abuse, murder, and greed. Marjorie Jackson was born Marguerite. Her mother was Clara Elizabeth Henry O'Donnell. Her stepfather, Robert Patrick Pop O'Donnell, adopted her, and she grew up in Indiana. She was married to Chester Jackson. They owned a successful grocery store chain. The Standard grocery store chain had many locations in Indianapolis. In 1953, 26 Standard grocery stores were listed in a city guide. Marjorie's husband Chester sadly passed away in 1970. Marjorie then inherited roughly $14 million that he had invested over the years. After an employee of their bank was convicted of embezzlement, Marjorie became increasingly distrustful of banks. She had grown up during the Great Depression. That's not surprising. Her generation had seen banks fail and bank customers lose everything. Many people only recovered pennies on the dollar for their hard-earned savings. And so Marjorie began withdrawing large sums of cash. She brought home millions and millions of dollars. It was reported that she brought home an estimated $9 million in cash over a 5-month period. Her bankers warned her not to keep it in her house. They urged her to deposit the money into a different bank if they didn't trust her. They tried to convince her that the money would earn interest at a bank. Marjorie was adamant that she wanted her money. It took considerable effort and time to get $500,000 in cash to turn over to Mrs. Jackson. Banks don't just have all your cash lying around in a vault, as we all know. It is invested in order to pay the interest on all those accounts and make a profit for the bank. Word started circulating that Marjorie had a house full of cash. $9 million is a considerable temptation for unscrupulous people. It wasn't long before someone broke in and robbed her. Marjorie actually had several different break-ins. She didn't even bother to call the police in some instances. Once she refused to press charges, insisting that the robbery was the will of God. Marjorie was getting on in years, and her mental state was declining. The yard out front was long and unkempt. The leaves in the fall went unraked. Repairs to the home were simply not happening. Neighbors were very concerned. But still, Marjorie kept to herself. One group of thieves was not content to take just all that stolen money and run. The thought of a house full of cash was just too tempting. They had robbed Marjorie once, but then they came back for more. But this time things went very badly. This time, they shot and killed Marjorie Jackson. On May 7, 1977, Marjorie Jackson was found murdered in her kitchen by firefighters. She had been shot to death, and the murderers had set fire to cover up their crime. Firefighters put out the fire, and while searching the house for other bodies, other victims, because they had no idea who all was in the house, the firefighters also found $5 million in cash hidden in various spots around the house. The thieves had gotten away initially and then spent much of the money in incredibly conspicuous ways. Matching luxury cars was one such purchase. They also bought matching RVs. They were flashing cash and expensive purchases during a major economic downturn in the United States. They stuck it out in a big way. Not surprisingly, they attracted the attention of law enforcement. The murdering thieves were eventually all caught. Howard R. Willard, who was 38, and his ex-wife, but still friend, Marjorie S. Pollitt, seemed to be the ringleaders of the crime. They had been married at one time and were now divorced, but apparently still friendly enough to commit crimes together. They were arrested in a Tempe, Arizona trailer park in possession of $1.6 million in cash. Manuel Lou Robinson, John Alton Williams, and Annie K. Young were also involved and tried as accessories in the crime. Marjorie S. Pollitt cooperated with investigators and confessed to everything she knew, including where the murder weapon could be found. The group had thrown it off a bridge in Morgan County near the town of Centerton. She also told the FBI where 2 different bags of money could be found buried in the Arizona desert. Those 2 bags contained a combined total of $2 million in cash. Howard R. Willard was convicted of the murder and robbery and sentenced to life in prison. This case always makes me so sad for Marjorie Jackson. She was aging, lonely, and very isolated. She was so vulnerable, and it seems that there was no one in her life that she was close to. She had no one watching out for her. As the investigation and trial unfolded, the newspapers reported every detail to an eager public. An auction was held at Marjorie Jackson's home, and people bought up everything. One unemployed woman bought boxes and boxes of clothing, shoes, and gloves. She planned to have a yard sale and capitalize on the publicity that Marjorie's murder had received. As she was washing gloves, she found a large gemstone that she hoped was a diamond. Sadly, it turned out just to be glass. Another man purchased a piano at the auction. He found a key hidden inside and wondered whether the key might open a vault or a safe somewhere. Marjorie Jackson is buried at Crown Hill Cemetery. It's a beautiful historic cemetery in Indianapolis. Many famous and notable individuals are buried there, including John Dillinger, the gangster, Colonel Eli Lilly, who founded the Lilly Pharmaceutical Corporation, and former President of the United States, Benjamin Harrison. Crown Hill Cemetery is a lovely place for Marjorie Jackson to rest. It's full of beautiful monuments, lovely landscaping, and mature trees. Rest in peace, Marjorie.